Okay, so just the other day I was driving my Camaro and I was like, man, when the C8 Z06 came out, everybody started, the herd start running over there like, man, this LT6 platform is a game changer. It changed everything, and rightfully so. And then GM just dropped the ball and just gave us another engine variant, which was the LS6. And now the herd done left the Z06, and now they running over here like, oh my God, the LS is coming back. The LS platform coming back. We have the LS6. But what if I tell you though is that even though the LT6 is good in its own right, the LS6 is pretty much going to be the better platform and the better car for most people. And in this video, I tell you why as I compare the difference between the two, between the LT6 and the LS6. Let's dive into it. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Anthony. I go by Bluprint One Lee. I did anything and everything what I did to my Camaro platform. But if you're here for like real world experience, track experience, and like if you're into like modifying your car or just interested to see what people do when they modify their cars, this is the channel for you, because this comparison I'm doing between the LT6 and the LS6 is not something I'm just going to derive off spec sheets. It's just pretty much what I have known based on I've been building my car over the long term and what I feel like how these two cars and engines will perform in the real world scenario. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So let's dive straight into the LT6. What makes this engine so unique that everybody loves? And one of the first things that stands out is that it's a 5.5 liter flat plane crank engine, something completely new coming out of GM's framework. So this is something nice that's just interesting to the whole masses. Also, the compression ratio, if I'm not mistaken, is 12.5 to 1. And then also you have it revs all the way out to like 8,000 RPM. And ironically, I got blessed the other day to hear what a Z06 sounds like on the road, and this sounds crazy. And hearing that, that's what brought this whole idea and this whole concept is me comparing both cars. Like, man, that sounds like a pure race engine. Like it is. It's a race engine for the street. But there are some things I'm thinking about as far as I think about the aftermarket. I'm thinking about someone that's in my shoes. It's like, man, okay, if I buy another car, would I modify it like I did my Camaro, or would I just leave it alone and leave it just bone stock? And this Z06, I feel like that's the car that I would leave bone stock. I would not add any modifications for it, because I feel like GM has maximized that engine to be the best track performance car that you can take on the street. And you can also take it to the road course and just have a blast with it and just do bare minimum maintenance. I wouldn't even do any more with it. Yes, now there can be some things done. We always know like GM likes to leave some meat on the table and some bones for that aftermarket people. And I know we can probably get some horsepower. So I just looked up a video not too long ago by LMR where they did do a stage 1 modification to the Z06. But this is where I'm telling you that GM is getting to the point where they're not really going to be pushing and making, you're not going to get as much horsepower as you think you're going to be making out of these cars, because they get them real efficient. And LMR, when I looked at the dyno sheet, which will be posted on the screen here, is that they only made a whopping like, let's say 50 to 60 horsepower with a stage 1 setup, which we all know what stage 1 is. That's a cold air intake. That's you know, with high flow cats. You upgrade the throttle bodies most likely, and a tune. And with that, just on a LT6 flat plane crank platform, it only made about 50 to 60 horsepower, give or take. So that is what you're getting. But you know the price of that nowadays. So in the aftermarket world, that's probably like between a $10,000, maybe a $15,000 setup. So it's starting to look kind of weird here. Like, okay, you really going to pay 10 to 15K just for like 50 to 60 horsepower? I wouldn't, because that's a whole new block, especially in this day and age. But the LT6 does serve its own right because it's lighter than the LT2. And they did a lot of weight savings on there. They just forged the crankshaft. They forged the pistons for you. So they did a lot of things on there where you really don't have to touch the car. You just get in it and go. You just enjoy it. Now, this is where the LS6 come into play, where I feel like this is going to be the cream of the crop for a lot of do-it-yourselfers and modifiers like me, where I come into in the track world. And I like to do it on the track, but I also like to experience it on the street, but it's a whole different animal. So with the LT6, the LT6 is one of those cars that, as I know that you can enjoy that car, but you really gonna have to love it staying in the RPMs. That's where it really comes into life, where you really enjoy being in the 4,000 to 8,000 RPM. That's where you really gonna have to. That car wants you to drive it fast. You really have no other option with that car if you want to enjoy that 8,000 RPM revving that high. You gotta enjoy it fast. But the LS6, I feel like that's going to give you your most streetable, but most fun and most usable power that you can use. And that's what I'm after. That's why I built my Camaro SS1 Elite, which a lot of people like to build cars. A lot of people like to chase horsepower numbers, but you don't hear not too many people that really care about the dyno sheets and like what's the power under the curve. I'm a big guy that believes on the power, not under the curve, not just the power going way out here and you making all that horsepower, or your power is here and then you like, okay, where the rest of my horsepower went because you losing some down low or whatever may fit, whatever your bill may do, whatever you ever run your car. But this is where I feel like the LS6 is the best car that I feel like for most people, where you can make the most usable power and will sneak up on a lot of people. But LX6, we know that it has 535 horsepower. The compression ratio has 13. And that you have two variants of it, of course. Like you have the GS and the GSX with that electric horsepower that gives you that 185-ish horsepower. So that just give you like a whopping 700 plus horsepower to the car overall. But this is where I'm saying, like, this is where it's going to be the sweet spot for a lot of people to modify their cars, because it's a little bit more simpler. Hear me out. Like, it's simpler because you don't have the dual throttle body setup. They upgraded from like an 87 that they normally run on a lot of their Corvette engines now up to a 95. Think about when we was in the aftermarket for the LT platform. They learned a lot from the aftermarket, where, okay, we had an 87, people used to like, bore it out to most. So now they give you a 95 throttle body. The max I feel like you can put on there now would be like 103. Now, even though they bumped up the compression ratio, yes, if you get it tuned, yes, you're gonna make some horsepower. But I believe that this car really gonna shine the most is with a heads and cam package. Is after that heads and cam package, and we get a little bit of fueling on that LS6, that's pretty much it. I don't think you're gonna get any more out that engine, because you have to sit back and think. And anybody knows that if you change or up the compression ratio or anything that's beyond 13 compression ratio, is going to be a hell of a car to drive. You can see that on the LT platform coming from Camaros. There's lots of people that's out here pushing 13, 14, 15. And yes, you happy about the power. Yes, it's going to be great to make good numbers down the drag strip, but that's what you're looking for. But it's going to be a bitch to drive day in and day out. And that's where I feel like this is the sweet spot. Now, how much is going to cost for a heads and cam package? I feel like going forward, it's probably going to be 10,000 probably, or 15,000 going to be the new norm based on what's everything going on in today's time. So you had to sit back and think, is it really worth it? And which car is actually easier to modify? I feel like GM just gave us two different engines, but it's like the two different engines for different people. Like, depends on what you want to do. I feel like the Z06 is for that person that's like, you know what, I'm not into modifying my car, but I like the way it looks, I like the way it sounds, I'm not touching it, and I'm a badge holder. Because there are some people, don't get me wrong, like there are some people that say, you know what, it's the Z06, I love that badge, GM come with it in a warranty, I'm rocking out with it, and that's the one they're going to get. But the LS6 one is like going to be, I think, that main popular one, because due to just someone hearing the name LS, they're going to take that and run off with it. And yes, they made different generations of it, but this LX has a little bit more into it for the do-it-yourselfers and for the aftermarket shops, especially when they added port injection and direct injection, something that the Z06 do not have. The Z06 is just only direct injection. Also, with the LS6, they also added water jacket cooling, which a lot of people do not talk about. I don't know why. Maybe because they just see the horsepower number and they focus on that, and then they just take off and run with it. But that's something I'm actually into, about how they like started cooling the engine on this Grand Sport a little bit more, especially when you run that higher compression ratio. So like that is like my high level overview. I could just get down deep into it like I always do, but I feel like that's the difference I'm seeing. I feel like in the aftermarket world, I feel like the LS6 would probably be the better bang for buck going forward. But that's my opinion on it. What do you guys think going forward? Like, do you guys think the LS6 is the best engine to modify if money was not an option? Or do you think the LT6 is the better option and you willing to risk it with that flat plane crank? Because in my opinion, we can see how well the flat plane crank gonna do, and I feel like that would most likely be better for a boosted application. Wink wink, because we got the LT7. We can see how they leverage that, and we can already see how the Ford Mustang leveraged the flat plane crank where there's good under boost. But we have the LS6 now, and the LS6 now with the high compression ratio and everything, it seems like that's going to be the better NA car over the Z06, in my opinion. Depends on what you use, but that's my opinion. What do you guys think in the comments? Which one would be the better engine for you, or which one would you modify if money was not an option? And like that, that's going to wrap this video up. If you guys like this video, you guys know what to do. Check out other videos that I have here where I did like a good topic on somebody thinking that buying a Lambo is better than building a 1,000 horsepower Honda or whatever that thing was. That was a couple weeks ago. Or what you think about the LS6 going into a Camaro, because I have a whole nother video I'm going to drop about what I think about the 4-door Camaro and all that, if that's going to happen. But that's a whole nother video. So y'all drop a comment below, let me know what y'all think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.